For as long as I can remember, I struggled with bad habits. And before I'd even tried to accomplish something, or before I even got the chance to try, I would instantly say, no, I can't do it because I do this. No, I can't get that girl because I watch porn. No, I can't work out and get in shape because I binge eat. No, I can't make an online business which makes 10K a month because I watch YouTube a lot, right? We instantly place the things that we want on top of us. We pedestalize it out of reach because of these bad habits that we indulge in. We attach our identity to these things and we claim them as ours. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to put down the bad habit, to stop claiming it as yours, because it is a daily decision that you are making unconsciously by using words of affirmation to claim it as yours. I struggle with, I am a binge eater, I am a porn addict. We're going to drop all of those and we're going to achieve freedom, essentially. And we're going to increase our identity on earth. And we are going to expand our level of achievement, or our level of possible achievement, right? Whether that's business, whether that's physique, whether that's women. And we're going to get what the fuck we want. Sorry for my language. But I struggled with this a lot, so I know exactly how it feels. So, this video is for you if you are a young and ambitious online business owner who is stuck right now. That's exactly where I was a year ago, even 6 months ago, right? So I know exactly the pain points that you're struggling with right now. I feel them. But you're stuck with unhealthy patterns and shameful habits which erode your self-worth and your self-image. Porn drains you of all drive and motivation. Junk food makes you lethargic and slothful. YouTube causes you to overthink and waste your life. And YouTube also has this weird cycle where you feel like you need more info, and then you watch more YouTube for that information. You find it, right? Not that it was ever really there to find, because you've watched the same video saying the same thing for the past 3 years. But that destroys your self-worth, number one, because you're not taking action. So you not taking action, you feel like you need more information because it still isn't working. So then you do the whole cycle again where you go on YouTube instead of work, which then lowers your self-worth even more. Which then, the gap between what you want and where you are just widens. It just keeps on widening until you're at a point where you possibly are now, where the things that you want feel out of reach. When quite frankly, they are not out of reach. It's just the perspective that you have taken and the beliefs that you have adopted because of this self-story that you have, which is magnified time after time. So let me make myself smaller here real quick. Oh, that might be a bit small. Let's make me, there we go. And negative thoughts that keep you looping the past, whether that's heartbreak, arguments, or failures. You can't seem to get out of your head about them. So these all induce shame. Enough shame to crush you to the floor and keep you there if you let it. And they also all feel bigger and stronger than you. Because how many times in the past have you given into them? Pretty much every time, right? How many times have you been able to get that urge come over you to go to the shop and buy that food, or to open up that website that we all know that I'm talking about, and you've been able to be like, you know what, no. You've never been able to do that. And so you feel completely powerless over them. How the hell do you think you can go and serve clients, or that you can go and achieve all of your goals and lead mass amounts of people, right, on social media or whatever it is, when you have something like this weighing you down? There's no chance. There really is no chance. And I know that because I tried to do the actions without first fixing this stuff, and I got nowhere with it for 3 years, for 3 goddamn long years. So now you're in a cycle of self-hatred followed by raw euphoric motivation. And this raw euphoric motivation is what people refer to as 3 a.m. motivation, right? And people will tell you that you just don't want it bad enough. Just stop trying. Are you still trying this business thing? You're lazy. You're just not good enough. And all of that is bullshit. And I struggled with all of these. This was me at the age of, how old was I? 17? About to turn 18, 17. I was overweight, I was binge eating every day. This motherfucker on the right did not get any girls either. He was not pulling any baddies. So in this video, we're going to talk about habit incongruence occurs when your identity begins to shift toward your desired state. Habits that once held power over you no longer attract you. They not only don't attract you, but they don't ignite any emotion in you whatsoever. You are indifferent. They are no longer congruent with your identity. Same way that binge eating is no longer congruent with who I am, porn is no longer congruent with who I am, and anything but life front and center is rejected immediately. So here are the 4 steps to achieve more so habit incongruence. And we're going to get straight into it. Physical vs emotional indulgence. Physical indulgence isn't the issue, although that's what you've been led to believe. All self-sabotaging habits or self-destructive habits come down to one thing: a lack of awareness. If you aren't consciously deciding to indulge, your mind simply compels you to. You aren't thinking, I really want to do this thing right now. No, your mind just forces you to do it. And if you knew how to stop, if you had the awareness on how to stop, you would stop. And this is what the purpose of this video is to build awareness to the point where the bad habit is here and all of your little monkey impulses, and you're here. You're looking at them, right? But right now, they're way up here. You have no awareness over them. You don't know the traps that they set. You don't know the triggers that they have. You don't know a goddamn thing. A person making 50K at a job he hates isn't making 50K at a job he hates because he wants to. He simply doesn't know how to make more money in a way that he enjoys. Physical indulgence is an effect of a cause. Physical indulgence is an effect of the cause. The action that you're taking, which is the binge eating, which is the habit itself, is a cause, right? If we look at the domino here, you think the habit that you have is the person pushing everything, right? The dominoes represent your life. You think that the habit is the thing destroying it. But no, your emotional state and your identity and the emotional home that you have from conditioning is actually the person pushing everything. And then these dominoes now reflect your habits, represent your life. If we can become aware of that cause, then we can beat it. And that the cause is your identity. Your current identity was not designed to serve the attainment of the vision that you have of hitting 10K a month, of hitting 100K a month, of maybe even making your first dollar online. You feel so unworthy that these things constantly elude you. It was designed to keep you alive, this current identity, by fitting in. You adopted all you knew to adopt, which was everything around you. The schools that are funded by the system they train you into, and the parents who are raised in that same slave-esque system. Your identity is protected by negative emotion, but also sustained by negative emotion. Every time you feel an emotion congruent with your current identity and conditioning, it deepens those neural pathways. Think about your brain as like a hill, and now it's snowing. Every time that you go down the hill on your sled, it leaves an indent, and then another person goes down it, another indent, and then there's another indent down here. And now we kind of have all of these neural pathways, right? And they strengthen and they deepen the more that you go down them with your sled. And the sled, in this analogy, is emotionally charged thoughts. That's all you need to know. Every time you feel an emotion congruent with your current identity and conditioning, it deepens those neural pathways again. Deepen neural pathways equals more familiar. You survived up until now, even if it's undesirable, and anything unknown is bad. So progress actually is a bad thing. We don't want to progress as humans, which is counterintuitive to what we think. But we would prefer to stay comfortable. And life right now is so comfortable. I'm assuming you live in a third world country. So physical indulgences equals bad habit, and emotional indulgence equals negative emotion your identity subjects you to from engaging in the bad habit. Are you seeing the cycle now? Emotional indulgence is the cause, physical indulgence is the problem. Getting to know the enemy. Step 2. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you'll call it fate. Or young. Now that we've seen the enemy, we need to get to know it so that we can learn its moves and its tricks. The enemy is our current identity. Identity, for the sake of this video, means your self-image and your paradigm. Features of identity can include your emotional state, your skill level, your income level, the physique that you currently have, and your relationships. They all reflect the way that you see yourself. That's it. They all reflect the way that you see yourself. Because you cannot show up in any other way than the way that you perceive yourself to be. How are you going to show up to a toxic relationship as a loving person when you feel like you have a role to play, which is that toxic person? Being manipulative, right? Being hot and then cold. You don't know any other way of acting. Your reality is a physical manifestation of your mind. This is a tweet that I made a while back. The end product is reality. To get there, we take action, and action is the midwife of energy, solidifying the immaterial to the material. We take action based upon small nudges from our intuition, which compel us to materialize the energy within us. So now that we have a very basic understanding of reality creation, we can go deeper on emotion. We must identify the emotions our identity is subjecting us to before we engage in the bad habit, but also afterwards. A boxer will not defeat his opponent blindfolded, which is how you've been fighting this entire time. To completely dissect and become aware of your current identity and self, I'd recommend getting the Identity Design Pack, which is currently just $20. It is templates that you fill out just to gain awareness, right? We spoke about awareness earlier. Awareness over your current emotional states that you come back to constantly, the triggers that you have. Because the habits and the actions that you're taking are just causes of those things. So if you want to grab that, it's down below. No, it also has a template needed for the next section. It's not just your current identity, but the new identity you also need to design. New identity. So what do you want? Who do you want? Who do you have to become to get what you want? In order to change our relationship to this habit, we need to know what we are changing it to. What stirs up internally when the new you thinks of engaging in this bad habit? That's it. What stirs up internally when the new you thinks of engaging in this bad habit? When I was binge eating daily, I had a body which reflected it, and the new identity I set would shrug off the idea of binge eating. Whenever this idea of I'm a binge eater would come up, boom, straight out of my mind. I'm not listening to any thought like that. Or even if it does come up, it's like, I know that's not me. You need to stay still and calm in the conviction that you hold about who you are, even if you need to act. He thought of the consequences first. How would the version of you who has achieved his vision, this habit, he would get the thought and then shrug it off immediately. The current self gets the thought, gets emotionally involved with it via shame or fear, and that emotion causes the action. The initial negative emotion pushes you to dopamine in order to layer over the pain. Let me read that again. The initial negative emotion also pushes you to dopamine in order to layer over the pain. So the second you get the thought of the bad habit that you're going to engage in, you instantly feel powerless. And it reminds you of your low self-worth. It reminds you of the life that you're not living. It reminds you of your poor character or whatever. All the pain that is tied with that emotion or with that habit, you feel. And in order to get away from that pain, you then reach to the very thing what you fear, because the rush of dopamine that you get layers over it. So it's a deadly feedback cycle, right? It's a deadly goddamn cycle that we're in here. The thing that you don't want is the thing that you feel like you need. So the key is detachment. Your emotion and attention are a currency. Please listen to what I'm saying. A thought cannot affect your subconscious without being emotionally charged. Remember the sled analogy from earlier, that when a sled goes down a snowy hill, it creates a new neural pathway. A thought does nothing. You can have a thought about kicking a baby, about jumping out the window, about moving country. A thought does nothing. But the second you charge it with emotion, we feel like we need to do it. We feel like, I need to call that girl. I need to book that trip. I need to call this person. It's the emotion that makes us want to do it. So we get a thought, which is a trigger, and then we get the negative emotion from the thought, which then causes the behavior, which causes more shame, and then we get a short burst of motivation after that because we feel so shit about ourselves, and then we just repeat. And I was stuck in the cycle for pretty much all my life. I'm 21 now. So stop giving your negative thoughts the emotion to materialize. The game of alchemy is to take from the old and give to the new. That's it. The game of alchemy is to take from the old and give to the new. Stop. When you engage in that bad habit, your thoughts will automatically trigger an emotional reaction, yet you can choose to observe it. This video and document empower you with a higher level of understanding and awareness, which is how you observe these things, because you've seen it a million times. You already have awareness over it. So the second it comes up, if you're walking through a crowd, right? You're walking head on through a crowd. And if you see, I don't know, a girl that your ex, you're going to see her instantly. You're going to notice what she's wearing. You're going to notice her face, her hair. You may even smell her if she has a strong smell. not in a bad way. Don't be dating somebody motherfuckers out here. But you get what I'm saying. Your old identity makes you think that when you engage in a bad habit, that it's hard proof that you are the same. I engage in this, so I am the same. No, but we now know that. We know that is not true. We know that we are just a result of our conditioning, which was a result of how we grew up, who we grew up around. So stop labeling yourself off of the habits that you have and who you currently are. Because the question is not who am I? The question is who am I becoming? Your old identity makes you think that when you engage in a bad habit, that it's hard proof that you're the same. It isn't. But what follows after it is. Do you react and engage in the same emotional cycles, or do you observe them from a detached point of view? Do you imagine and shift into a new identity the second that you get that thought? Are you so familiar with this new self that you have that you just shift into him straight away? Emotions, primed. Thoughts, primed. Beliefs, primed. You look at the world a completely different way because you're so familiar with that perspective, because you've done so much visualization, so much work through the eyes of that new person that you can snap into him instantly. Success is maintaining distance between your thoughts and emotions, your thoughts/emotions and consciousness. If you're interested in overcoming procrastination or a mental block that you have and you're a business owner, and we do this all within 6 weeks, then apply below, book a call, and let's see how I can help.